Hey riders, welcome back to RidezoneBikes, your go-to destination for all things two-wheeled. Today, we're diving into a detailed review of one of the most talked about neo-retro machines of 2025, the Honda GB350 S. A bike that's managed to carve out its own space between modern engineering and classic British-inspired aesthetics. The GB350 S returns for 2025 with subtle refinements, an unmistakable road presence, and that unmistakable thump that tugs at every rider's heart. So, whether you're a cafe-copyright racer enthusiast, a daily commuter, or someone just getting into mid-displacement bikes, this one's worth sticking around for. At the heart of the 2025 GB350 S lies the same tried-and-tested 348.36cc air-cooled, single-cylinder engine, refined for smoother performance and slightly better heat management. This year, it continues to produce 20.8 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and a healthy 29.4 Newton-meters of torque at just 3,000 RPM, making it one of the most torque-rich engines in its segment. What that translates to on the road is easy, confident riding, especially in the low and mid-range. The GB350 S isn't built to race, it's built to cruise, with torque delivery that feels relaxed but potent. Throttle response has been marginally improved thanks to revised fuel injection mapping. It feels more refined when rolling on in traffic or pulling out of corners. Mated to a 5-speed gearbox, shifts are slick and predictable, though a 6th gear is still missed during longer highway stretches. That said, the GB350 S remains smooth at 80–90 km/h. Which is where it's happiest cruising. Honda hasn't altered the double cradle frame much, and for good reason. It works. The bike feels well balanced and planted, even when you lean into sweeping curves. While it doesn't corner like a sports bike, the GB350 S does hold the line with confidence and composure. At 179 kilograms, it isn't featherlight, but the weight is well distributed and feels manageable even for newer riders. Suspension duties are handled by telescopic front forks and twin shock absorbers at the rear, tuned slightly stiffer in the S version than the standard GB350. This gives it a sportier ride feel without compromising comfort. Over potholes and rough patches, it remains compliant, although sharper bumps do make their presence felt, a trade-off for the more engaging ride dynamics. Braking is managed by a 310mm front disc and a 240mm rear disc, supported by dual-channel ABS. The setup is progressive, predictable, and confidence-inspiring. You won't find aggressive bite here, but there's more than enough stopping power for spirited street rides. The tires are MRF zappers, with a 100-section front and a beefy 150-section rear, which offers a good mix of grip and longevity. However, if you're planning more aggressive riding or wet weather use, aftermarket rubber could be worth exploring. Let's talk design. The GB350 S strikes that perfect balance between old-school charm and modern functionality. For 2025, Honda has added 2 new colors: a matte Axis Grey Metallic and Candy Chromosphere Red, with stealthy blacked-out components and subtle silver pinstripes running along the fuel tank. The result is a bike that looks sophisticated yet muscular. Compared to the standard GB350, the S variant is visually more aggressive. It swaps chrome for matte black finishes, gets a shorter rear fender, a side-slung exhaust with a deeper note, and a slightly forward-leaning riding stance. It screams cafe-copyright racer influence without going full retro. The LED lighting all around, from the circular headlamp to the tail light, blends classic hues with modern brightness and clarity. Rider ergonomics on the GB350 S have always been a sweet spot. You're not leaned too far forward, but there's a slightly sportier reach to the handlebars compared to the standard model. The seat height stands at 800mm, which is accessible for most riders, and the cushioning is decent enough for 2-3 hour rides. However, long-haul touring might require aftermarket padding or a gel seat. The pillion seat is presentable, but it's best for short city runs rather than extended journeys. Footpeg placement gives you a slightly rear set fillet just enough to encourage a spirited riding posture without compromising day-to-day comfort. Honda has kept the rider triangle nicely neutral, which means you can commute on this bike through traffic, head out for a weekend ride, or even use it for light touring with the addition of some luggage. In terms of tech, the 2025 GB350 S gets a minimalistic but functional semi-digital instrument cluster. You get an analog speedometer and a small digital display that shows gear position, trip meter, fuel gauge, and time. There's no fancy TFT here, but it does get Honda's Bluetooth-enabled HSTC, Honda Selectable Torque Control System and Honda Smartphone Voice Control System, HSVCS. Through the Honda Road Sync app, you can connect your phone and get navigation alerts, call notifications, and music control all via voice, provided you're wearing a compatible Bluetooth headset. The switchgear is tactile and of good quality. It also features an engine kill switch, hazard lights, and a pass light, and no cost-cutting evident here. While it doesn't match the feature-rich clusters seen on some rivals like the Meteor 350 Supernova or Yazda Roadster, the GB350 S sticks to its less is more philosophy. One thing riders unanimously love about the GB350 S is its deep, bassy exhaust note. The shorter side-mounted exhaust enhances the oral experience without being obnoxiously loud. It thumps confidently, more refined than a Royal Enfield, but still characterful. It's a sound that makes you want to ride more, linger longer, and just enjoy the journey. Honda's engineering finesse shows here at the balance of sound, feel, and smoothness is spot on. Coming to practicality, the 2025 Honda GB350 S returns an average fuel economy of around 35–38 km/L in mixed riding conditions. With the 15-liter fuel tank, that gives you a theoretical range of well over 500 km, enough for weekend getaways without frequent fuel stops. It's also an easy bike to live with. The clutch is light, gear shifts are smooth, and the engine remains tractable even at low speeds in high gears, perfect for navigating stop-and-go city traffic. Maintenance intervals are spaced out sensibly, and being a Honda, reliability is a non-issue. Spare parts are widely available and fairly priced. The 2025 Honda GB350 S is priced at a superscript 12.25 lakh. Ex-showroom deli. That places it slightly above the standard GB350 and in close competition with the Royal Enfield Meteor 350, Jawa 42, and the Yazda Roadster. While it may seem a tad premium compared to some of its rivals, what you get in return is Honda's build quality, finesse, and a ride feel that leans more toward refinement than rawness. Add to that the neo-retro looks, unique exhaust note, and Honda's dependable after-sales service, and it's not hard to justify the price tag. So, what really sets the GB350 S apart? It's the perfect blend of modern engineering and classic design. It doesn't try too hard to be vintage, nor does it overwhelm you with tech. It just delivers a simple, soulful riding experience, something that's becoming rare in a market obsessed with features and specs. The attention to detail, the clean lines, the impeccable paint finish, and the mechanical smoothness all come together to create a bike that appeals to both your heart and head. If you're looking for a mid-capacity motorcycle that's big on character, easy to live with, and built to last, the 2025 Honda GB350 S deserves a serious look. It's not about chasing performance numbers or top speed day, it's about enjoying every ride, every thump, every glance. And that's a wrap on today's review of the 2025 Honda GB350 S. What do you think? Does it have what it takes to